So firstly, I graduated in 2009 from the University of Exeter, where I studied French, German and Spanish. So it set me up for a bit of traveling and adventure, really. And it took me on a gap year for actually 18 months. I got very much into the travels, and I worked with bears in Romania. That was something that I'd always dreamed of doing as a child, and when I graduated, it was actually a dream come true. So I was living in just outside of the Carpathian Mountains in Romania, working with bears, helping to feed them, rescuing them from conditions in zoos or dancing bears, circuses, all that sort of thing. And it then took me on to working with elephants. That's me with elephants in Thailand, and then turtles in Costa Rica. So saving the baby turtles and releasing them back to the sea, helping them to hatch. So I've got lots of experience with that, and it's all through Oyster Worldwide, who I now work for today. So a completely independent pitch, but I am talking about my experience as well. Although obviously I've been working in this for almost 2 years now, and so know a great deal about it. So firstly, like, what can you do? What does conservation mean? Where can you go to do it? And how do you go about doing it? So firstly, what do I do now? I set you up to go to places like this. It's a dream come true for many people to be able to go and work hands-on with animals that need your help. So these monkeys may have been orphaned or run down or something like that, and they are being rehabilitated to the wild, and you can help with that conservation experience. This is one of the bears that I was working with. He's actually been blinded, and he has, with the help of volunteers, become able to smell where food is and to enjoy life, like swimming in the ponds and things like that. And you get to witness that on a very, very one-to-one basis. Also lions, maybe shouldn't have put this picture in. It's a bit of one that parents don't really love, but don't worry, I wasn't very close to this lion. The lions in South Africa, many of them are bred for hunting, which many people do not realize. If you want to go and hug a baby lion, feed it, swim with it, please don't. Those lions are actually being bred for hunting, and whatever conservation they're saying is attached to that, believe me, it really isn't. So adult lions or tigers or anything like that, they are being reintroduced to the wild after some sort of awful trauma in their past. So more elephants, that's South Africa. Really, really hands-on research and things with them. Also turtles, Costa Rica, the population of turtles is really decreasing. So helping to gather information about them, find out how many eggs are hatching, how many are being laid, how to increase the numbers surviving. It's about 1 in 1,000 for ones that are hatched in the wild without the help of volunteers. With the help of volunteers, I think it's about 90% of the turtles actually do make it out to the sea and survive. Also sharks, not everyone's favorite animal, but also a very misunderstood animal. You can work with them in the wild, cage diving, researching where do they go, what do they do, and why are they such a misunderstood animal. There's also things like beach cleanups, helping in sort of rural locations such as Costa Rica, where they don't have the same sort of access to information as we do about why you shouldn't throw things in the sea, why you shouldn't litter. And so it's helping and educating the local community and really becoming a part of that community without seeming like somebody who just waltzes in for a couple of weeks, lends a hand and goes home. Also things like conservation in Australia. Last year we sent out a lot of people to help with the flood clear-up efforts. There was a lot of devastation, and volunteers were helping to clear things, to replant trees, help with clear boardwalks, build new boardwalks, footpaths. So if you're very handy with building and things, then that's an excellent project for you. So what does it involve? Here's just a few pictures that I put together that many of our volunteers have taken over the years. So this is something that you should expect to see and to be helping out with. So rehabilitation, over 400 monkeys and baboons that need to be rehabilitated to the wild. So playing with them, giving them love and affection, taking them around, getting them used to interaction, bottle feeding the babies. That does need to be done every 2 hours. So it is quite an intensive project, but don't worry, with sharing it around the other volunteers as well, you won't be up all night feeding them. Also the elephants, lots of feeding the elephants, trying to find out why the number of elephants are decreasing so massively in South Africa and trying to reintroduce them to the areas. So very, very hands-on. You get to build up a good relationship with the elephants because you work one-on-one with them. Also marine conservation. I forgot I put in a picture of myself. It's not big-headedness. It's just to show how tiny the turtles are. So tagging the turtles, releasing the babies. The baby nests are about up to 100, 150. So if you have 2 nests to release at the same time, that's 300 baby turtles running down the beach to the sea, and you get to help out in that. On the shark conservation side, cage diving, seeing what's going on underwater, scuba, and just seeing things like that in a really secure, safe environment, helping with the research and how to improve the perception of sharks and also find out what they're up to in the deep oceans. General animal welfare, as I was saying, working with the lions, lots of enrichment, which means getting them used to things that they haven't experienced in the wild. So putting food maybe inside some hay and getting them to open it up to feel how to hunt and what it's like to be out on the plains rather than a small cage in a poorly run zoo. It's the same with the bears, really getting to feed them, prepare the food for them, monitor them, see how they interact with you as well as with the other bears. It's all extremely safe. The bears is something that I did myself on my gap year, so I can definitely vouch for it as being one of the best things I've done. Also, environmental conservation, building fences, helping out on planting trees, picking up rubbish. It's very sort of hard work, but it's also extremely gratifying. Looks fantastic on the CV. And also you get to go to some amazing places like this, which are far off the tourist trail, but also extremely beautiful. So just a little bit about us. We've got over 10 years of experience sending volunteers overseas to loads of projects, including the animal welfare and conservation projects. It's really important to us that the people that we send away have an amazing time and that they only go to places where they are needed. It's so important that you only do things where you're accepted by the local community, where they really want and need your help. So that is something that is one of our main priorities. We also support and help you throughout. In the terms of all the animal welfare and things like that. And then we have representatives overseas that do help you if you have any problems at all, but also guarantee your independence. We're very well respected, and lots of people come back to us through word of mouth. So if you go away, then often a brother and sister will follow in your footsteps and do something with us. And that is something that we're extremely proud of.